Hello and welcome to Moneylife. This is Sucheta Dalal. This week, we are going to talk about the big changes at the Tata Group. In fact, is there going to be a succession drama? You would think not, because Noel Tata has been appointed. So will there be stability or will there be tensions? I'm sure you wonder, what is she talking about? Well, actually, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So let's go back to this phrase you would have heard. The king is dead, long live the king. That happens, this proclamation happens in order to mark a seamless succession of a new monarch in a monarchy when the old one dies, so that there is continuity, there's no vacuum, and there's immediate succession. It certainly happens in the United Kingdom. Now, did you get that feeling when you heard about how the Tata Trusts, there are 14 of them, all met just a day after the demise of Ratan Tata, the group patriarch and legend, and decided that Noel Tata is going to be the chairman of Tata Trusts. Again, it's not as simple as it seems, because this is the first time after Ratan Tata, there's a gap in between, after Ratan Tata stepped down as the chairman of Tata Sons and chairman of Tata Trusts, to one person heading the trusts. Otherwise, there are 14 trusts, two big ones, and each of them had a vice chairman who was separate. There was no chairman for this short period. Now, what was the hurry to have this meeting within a day and to declare that Noel Tata is going to head Tata Trusts? It's because the trusts are extremely powerful. They hold 66% of the shareholding of Tata Sons Private Limited, it's now private, indirectly controlling this entire Tata empire, which is salt, software, steel, retail, and what have you. Watches, jewelry, you just name it, and the group is in it. As Noel Tata himself noted, this again should not talk about succession issues. He says the trusts remain committed to development and philanthropic initiatives and nation building. That's true. That's what they are supposed to do. They're charitable trusts, but their power, their structure, and their influence over the Tata conglomerate has expanded significantly under Ratan Tata's leadership. The trusts also signal a certain ethos and culture of the group. So in 2000, this is how it happened. In 2000, Ratan Tata successfully ensured that full voting control of Tata Sons was restored back to the trusts. Until then, for a while, it was with the Charity Commissioner. Next, in 2012, there was an amendment to the Articles of Association, which granted Tata Trusts greater sway in the selection committee responsible for appointing and removing the chairman of Tata Sons. This is important for any of you who follow what happens in the corporate world. It helped in the infamous sacking of Cyrus Mistry as the chairman of Tata Sons in a strange coup that was enacted one fine morning of 2016. By 2020, yet another amendment prohibited one individual from leading both Tata Sons and Tata Trusts. So there was a division of power. Tata Sons, which was controlling all the businesses of the group, the many large behemoth companies, steel, motors, what have you, would be headed by one person and Tata Trusts by another. Ratan Tata was the last, as I said earlier, to hold both titles. Now, Noel Tata's swift appointment as the chairman of Tata Trusts has sent several overt and subtle messages to those who know, internally and externally. The main of them is the preservation of the Tata Group's identity as a Parsi business empire. With the Tata at the helm, it reinforces the perception of a unique corporate character and ethic, which has, if you ask me, allowed the group to weather all kinds of governance challenges and controversies without a speck of damage to its pristine reputation. So the question is the Tata Group clean as driven snow? Not necessarily. Does it affect its reputation as India's most blue chip business house? Not a bit. And that's a strange contradiction which continues when you have a Parsi with the name Tata at the head of Tata Sons. For instance, as recently as last week, the group has got away with something which would have been a huge scandal and made headlines if it were any other group. Remember, there was a press release. First, there was a news story saying Ratan Tata has been hospitalized. A day after, there was a Instagram post and a Twitter post personally by Ratan Tata, thanking people for thinking about him with his signature, saying that he was perfectly fine. There was a routine check. This was on October 7th. And yet, this was clearly not true because he was in no condition to have dictated, signed, or written such a message. In fact, by the end of October 9th, he was with us no more. So clearly, it was a fake message, which ought to have created a controversy, but it didn't because it comes from the Tata Group. So nothing strange or wrong could ever have happened, right? That is the sense and power of a brand name, in this case, the Tata brand name. So a sense of continuity is provided by Noel Tata's appointment, and this may be critical as an internal power struggle is bound to unfold within the group. And believe it or not, the government is apparently watching developments rather closely. In fact, how important is this? A prominent Parsi industrialist told me there was a fear that the Tata Group was beginning to change and not for the better. So Noel Tata's appointment is a big relief because it ensures this won't happen. Whether it is or not remains to be seen. But what he was referring to was the very close equation that has developed between Natarajan Chandrasekaran, who's the chairman of Tata Sons since 2017, and Venu Srinivasan, who was brought in literally on the eve of the sacking of Cyrus Mistry. He is the chairman emeritus of the TVS Motor Company. He's also vice chairman of one of the two powerful Tata Trusts, the two big ones, as they say, and he's on the board of Tata Sons itself. More importantly, he's now on the governing board of the Reserve Bank of India. Why is this important? Because RBI wants Tata Sons to go public. And if you ask me, it raises a potential conflict of interest situation when it comes to whether RBI is going to agree to allow Tata Sons to remain private, which is what they want, or will it insist that it is an important company among the top 10 non-banking finance companies. All others have been given a deadline, and whether it insists that Tata Sons also gets listed. Now, Chandrasekaran, the affable Chandrasekaran, remains the powerful big boss of Tata Sons. Okay. In a sense, he controls a $165 billion corporate empire, and he will remain there at least for the next 5 years. Nobody can shake him. He has also acquitted himself very creditably. He has built businesses well. He had a strong personal relationship with Ratan Tata. And this is especially significant because Cyrus Mistry, who's literally part of the group, was thrown out so unceremoniously in 2016, but his successor built a close relationship after that ugly episode. Now, another powerful presence which matters through this power struggle is the very low-profile Meli Mistry. In fact, talk to people and many of them say, Meli who? Who's that? He was a close confidant of Mr. Tata. He is also understood to be a key beneficiary in his will, according to people around the group. He's on the board of all major Tata Trusts, exactly like Noel Tata. He's on the board of all the important Tata companies. He's credited with influencing key appointments at all group companies, at the trusts. So there are a lot of people who are loyal personally to Meli Mistry, especially given his equation then to Ratan Tata. In fact, it was expected that the head of Tata Trusts, when announced, would perhaps be Meli Mistry, but it turns out that it was Noel Tata. So there are three power centers: Mr. Chandrasekaran, Noel Tata, and the somewhat controversial Meli Mistry. If you want to know about this controversy, you have to Google about what happened in 2016 and who influenced whom during the Cyrus Mistry episode. Of the trio, it's my view that Noel Tata has the strongest position. Unlike Ratan Tata, whose leadership ascension was questioned in the 1990s because of his rather lackluster career until then. Nelco, which he had headed, was not considered a big success. But Noel Tata comes in very strong. He had the courage to diversify into retail, and he's built his own reputation by leading Trent Limited from a single West Side store in Mumbai in 1998 to over 700 stores with 3 different formats and a market capitalization which is over 2.8 lakh crore. As one observer who has worked closely with him says, he's silently effective, low profile, but high performing. Important for him and for the group in the coming days. Now, underestimating Noel Tata could prove as short-sighted as those who underestimated Ratan Tata in the 90s when he had to deal with the formidable setups of the Tata Group. In fact, I would think his task is easier because the Tata Group no longer has titans of the stature of Lucy Modi, Darbari Seth, or Ajit Kerkar. Secondly, Noel Tata's family connections are going to bolster his position. He is not only the son of Noel Tata and his second wife, Simone Tata. Simone Tata was a powerful business powerhouse in the 90s. She founded Lakme, which was eventually sold to Unilever, and a formidable lady in her own right. He is also married to Alu Mistry, who is the sister of Cyrus Mistry. Cyrus Mistry, former chairman of Tata Sons, is part of the Shapoorji Pallonji Group, which holds a 18.37% stake in Tata Sons, making it the single largest private shareholder. There's a lot of acrimony over there, but they are big, and he's connected through his wife. There was a rift, as I said, when Cyrus Mistry was unceremoniously thrown out. There was a huge legal battle which made things worse, and this legal battle lasted till 2021 and would have continued, but for the tragic deaths first of Pallonji Mistry, Cyrus's father, and a few months later, Cyrus Mistry passed away in an accident that made headlines. So after 2022, in the past 2 years, it's been a bit of a thaw in the relationship. It may have turned slightly more cordial. It's not, it's still very formal. It's not as though there's a big breakthrough, but who knows? This could be further strengthened after Noel Tata has taken over as chairman of Tata Trusts. Now, what are the challenges ahead for the group and particularly for him? Despite Ratan Tata's status for a few years as chairman emeritus of Tata Sons and Tata Trusts, he had a colossal influence on the group. What he said and what he wanted happened. If it weren't the case, Cyrus Mistry would never have been removed in the manner that he did with all the changes in the board. We have written about this. If you're interested, you should Google. This time, though, there are fissures and tension. The government is aware of it and is apparently watching the situation very closely. The first challenge that the group faces is obviously the mandate, RBI mandate to list Tata Sons. The deadline is September 25th. Most other top 10 non-banking finance companies are already listed. They had asked for time. RBI was strict. Will it allow Tata Sons not to list? We need to wait and watch. I have a video blog on this. You can watch it, but I'm saying that it is difficult for the group to unravel all its financial relationships, comfort letters, soft support, and guarantees, leave alone its lending. So it has sold a few shares, but it's a difficult business. It's going to take time. So the hope apparently would be that Venu Srinivasan, who's on the RBI board, might help secure an exemption. I personally think if that happens, there's going to be another controversy. Second factor is the whole problem with the SP group. The Tata Sons relationship, it was bad, it was acrimonious, and independent observers concede now, especially now that Mr. Ratan Tata is not around, because that was very personal to him, that the group was badly wronged and some healing is required. Cyrus Mistry's battle with Tata Sons was one part, and now there is a bigger problem because the SP group is highly leveraged with an estimated debt of about 50,000 crore. They have been attempting to raise funds, they have been selling companies, but Tata Sons has made it very, very difficult for them to encash their value of around 2.8 lakh crore through this 18.37% stake by blocking it at every turn. So first, Tata Sons converted itself into a private limited company. It's resisting listing, and it has made it very difficult for the Mistry Group to sell the shares to anybody else. Yet, a 6% stake has already been pledged. Meanwhile, the group needs to pay back, and it has been selling good companies. Eureka Forbes has been sold, PNP Port has been sold, Gopalpur Port has been sold. It has cut its stake drastically in Sterling and Wilson, and it is also hoping to make an IPO and list Afcons and raise some more money. A decision to allow the SP Group to unlock the best possible value of their shareholding would be if Tata Sons gets listed. Will that happen? We don't know. To my mind, some healing over there is required if the group wants to work cohesively and move forward. They can't keep a needless battle going. The two power centers will have to decide it: Noel Tata and N. Chandrasekaran. N. Chandrasekaran may take the stance that I'm a professional, I'm here for the next 5 years. I don't want to get involved in what is essentially a family battle. If that is the case, then it is Noel Tata who is the man to watch. He'll have to work his way around all the different appointees and Melly Mistry and keep the group together, because eventually the Tata Trusts, which he now heads, are going to play a big role. So we will wait and watch developments, and we will bring more things to you as they unfold. If you like what you hear, do subscribe and share this video. Thank you.